Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lenga from Visha Media, and welcome to this morning's press briefing. I would like to hand over this session to Dr. Mustafa Ali, but before then I would like to recognize the presence of our few special people. First, the KDF spokesman, Colonel Joseph Owoth. Thank you, sir. And the Director of Communication for the Nairobi Police, the National Police Service, Mr. George Kinoti. Thank you, sir. As well as the representatives from the Ministry of Interior. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maslin. Good morning once again. And I want to thank you all for making time to come to this press conference. I want to especially thank the government representatives that heeded to this call, Colonel Owoth, Mr. Kinoti from the National Police Service. Thank you for coming. And everybody, Sister Mariam Kibunjia, I know this was a very short notice, Batuli and everybody that are here and the members from the media. My name is Mustafa Ali. I am the convener for a program called Building Resilience Against Violent Extremism, particularly in the hotspot countries where radicalization into violent extremism and terrorism been a major problem. Last year alone, there were over 40 Kenyans that joined either Al-Shabaab, ISIS, or other terrorist groups. And of those 40, 17 were girls, women. You can see that the trends are changing. The trends of recruitment, the way ISIS is recruiting, the way Al-Shabaab is recruiting today is changing because they are not able to get as much as they used to get in terms of recruits from the people, young people that they used to target. And guess what? This is not just a problem for Muslims. It's not just the Muslims that are being recruited into these violent extremist groups. It is not just the young Muslim boys and girls that are recruited into violent extremism and terrorist groups. It is also young Christians that are recruited to join these violent extremist groups. And a number of those who have been killed in Somalia by Al-Shabaab, those who have been killed here have lost their lives, and not just Muslims. They are also coming from different faiths. We want to see the Kenyans' creativity of the young people that are going to address violent extremism and terrorism. So Lenga Ugaidi in Talanta is an initiative that seeks to encourage the youth to spearhead and be a part of countering violent extremism and terrorism in Kenya through talent. Any Kenyan under age of 35 can participate, and we encourage them to submit their short videos or films that can inspire, influence thoughts and spark imagination in the fight against radicalization and terrorism. The videos should not exceed 5 minutes and will be submitted via our website, that is www.lengaugaidi.co.ke, or send the video to WhatsApp and Telegram through 0798 473 403. I repeat the number again, 0798 473 403. They can also drop off their CDs to our brave offices that are on Riverside Drive, or any of the offices for NAILAB or New Vision, that you're going to get the addresses for this on the Lenga Ugaidi website. In submitting the video, we are asking the young people to remember to include a copy of the ID number and their contact information. Those below the age of 18 years should submit a copy of their parents' or guardian's ID. We would like to know those that are participating in this competition. It's very important that we send a very clear message to all Kenyans, young and old, and particularly the young who are becoming increasingly vulnerable to the radicalization from violent extremist groups such as Al-Shabaab, ISIS, and others. Thank you very much. Other than having the Lenga Ugaidi na Talanta information on online tools, social media, we will be, from next week, we will be having workshops in a number of counties, and Rama can talk about those counties that we are going to be in. And we are going to share this information with those mainly young people that may not necessarily have access to internet and social media.
I think people have people have still the thought that Brave, when it came and they put the adverts in the video in the media, and then they disappeared. The media is just a small fraction of Brave activities. We have so many other activities that are going on, and we maybe most of them don't go to the media actually, but we are always going to the field, go to Mwananchi, go to the community, and have quite a number of activities. We have last year we had a long program that we carried out in Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi, and the whole of Northeastern Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, and Isiolo. This is a community building resilience among the communities that are affected. And this year, again, we are starting. We have had a number of activities that we have finished, and we are starting others next week. So, and these ones will take 3 months, and then after 3 months, there are other activities that will come up. So it's the media activity. The media activities that we are having is just a fraction of many activities that are going on.
What the campaign hopes to do is to re-energize, is to reinvigorate the spaces and the discussions, and to engage young people to be much more active and participate in the ongoing campaigns to address violent extremism. And I say ongoing campaigns because there are ongoing campaigns to address violent extremism and terrorism. And if I may just cite a few that are much more strategic in nature. There are many organizations, religious institutions, secular organizations, and the Kenyan government. They have come up with a number of initiatives to address violent extremism and terrorism. If I may just focus on just one that is established and run by the Muslim community in this country, the Building Resilience to rather against violent extremism, Brave. This is a program that started in 2015, and it is ongoing. It is a program that has two objectives. One is the ideological pushback, to push back the ideology of groups like Al-Shabaab, ISIS, and the others, so that those ideologies that they are trying to use, manipulate religion to recruit children, young people, and sometimes even the old people, to try and take back some of the innocent concepts and constructs that are there in Islam, you know, like jihad, for example, that is misused by Al-Shabaab, ISIS, to take these concepts back into the spaces where they belong and work with young people especially so that they understand what is jihad. And if young people understand what jihad is and true jihad is, then it becomes much more difficult for groups like ISIS, Al-Shabaab to recruit them.
I would like to just answer his question about the criteria for picking the winner. We have a couple of themes which have been broken down very simply. on the website and on the poster and everywhere else that we've been posting. And we would like to mention that the most important thing that we'll be looking at, if the videos are actually addressing those particular themes. So that's the first thing. And then creativity. Like he said, you can talk about whatever level of radicalization or extremism, from the moment they're being radicalized or to how you respond when you're actually in a situation whereby you realize that you're being radicalized. And so the person's creativity needs to also be brought out. And so we'll be looking majorly at the themes and creativity, but the level of production honestly doesn't matter, because we're thinking of the people that are not as tech savvy as probably some people in Nairobi, and so that doesn't matter. It's not about the production. It's not even a filmmaker's competition. It's just the communication in the video, if it's going according to the themes, as well as the creativity that has been brought out.
When it comes to partnership, we are going to engage the faith media as well, including Horizon that you've mentioned. But you don't forget that terrorism and violent extremism has not just affected Muslims alone, and so we are not just looking at the Muslims in the country and the Muslim media. We are also looking at the others that have fallen prey to this manipulative ideology from Al-Shabaab and others. If we just mention a few names, Budalangi, Kioko, what are the other names? Huh? Bwire, gani ingine? Mwangi. There are many. They've fallen prey to this ideology, and some of them are impressed to join for ideological reasons. There are others who are just basically looking for a source of living, so the material gain. There are many push and pull factors, and we will not go into that. But what we are saying is, and this is what we've observed, and it's backed by evidence, is that any Kenyan is at risk of being recruited by these savages. And that is what we want to engage the young people, so that they do not fall prey to this kind of manipulation. In terms of the media, of course the media has been doing a very good job these last few years, and congratulations to you in really sifting through and not being party to the manipulation of groups like Al-Shabaab especially, and ISIS. Before that, we just used to get raw data, information. Al-Shabaab says this, or he says this, government officials are saying this, and we just want to take what Al-Shabaab is saying without checking on their propaganda nature of the kind of information that is coming from this kind of groups. And I'm hoping that you're going to join us in this campaign. And I welcome you to get in touch with us on how we can engage with you to make sure that this campaign, and not just this campaign, there are many initiatives, and there will be many campaigns that will be coming to try and address violent extremism and terrorism. So there is a lot of work that is going on, and part of that work is the ideological pushback, information asymmetries, clawback that communities around the country are doing. Some of that work involves very one-on-one counseling that some of those who have been trained to counsel the vulnerable young people, that you will not hear of. And there are many young people that are counseled who have psychological problems. There's a lot of there are many activities on psychosocial support that are ongoing. They are not perfect. There is nothing that is perfect. In terms of the reach, these are some of the programs that require to be scaled up so that we can really address the challenge of recruitment. We've developed early warning signs trained our madrasa teachers, imam, parents. This is work that is ongoing so that they're able to detect early, before a child is recruited or makes that decision to join the violent extremist group. Those early warning signs would have been observed and necessary remedies taken at the family level, at the mosque level, at the church level. There are those that, don't get remedied there, and sometimes then the state take up some of those matters. And I don't work for the state, so I don't want to speak on behalf of the state. And the competition in itself is an interactive campaign with the young people. We would like them to, we've given some guidelines, and you can read those guidelines on the website in terms of the various categories, the thematic areas that they may want to address, from the narratives, the meta-narratives, the ideologies, to how do you react when a terrorist attack has happened, the role of faith and religious institutions to address violent extremism. These are the various themes that are there, and you may want to read that on the Lenga Ugaidi campaign website.
Are you a Kenyan youth under the age of 35 with the zeal to inspire, influence thoughts and spark imagination in the fight against terrorism? We are looking for you. Submit your original 5-minute video to the Lenga Ugaidi and Talanta competition and stand a chance to win 500,000 Kenya shillings. How? Visit www.lengaugaidi.co.ke for more information on how to enter, and visit us on Facebook and Twitter at Lenga Ugaidi. We, the youth of Kenya, are saying no more to radicalization and violent extremism. No more to division. Be the voice against radicalization and violent extremism. Lenga Ugaidi na Talanta, tulinde taifa letu.